Welcome to xMatters Demo Days, and thank you for joining us. Today we'll be talking about the post-incident review best practices with xMatters. What exactly are post-incident reviews? Why are they needed? When are they needed? How can teams ensure they're not only run efficiently, but their output is effective to reduce the likelihood of incidents happening again in the future? With digital services becoming ever more complex, an increasing number of teams and products are involved in delivering your services. In situations like these, structured incident postmortems and follow-ups are critical. You don't want to make the same mistake twice. If you're here today, chances are you've got some form of postmortem process in place, but you might be wondering how you can improve. A good post-incident review will provide managers and DevOps teams an understanding of the incident's root cause, a detailed timeline of what happened and when, and a clear set of follow-up actions that the team can execute to prevent the same thing from happening again. If you're a regular attendee of our Demo Dayz sessions, you have previously seen how xMatters can automate your incident response. Of course, not every incident needs a postmortem. They're generally saved for the serious incidents that last a long time or impact a large number of users, may have a significant financial impact, or any combination of these factors. When you do conduct a postmortem, you'll need as much information about the incident that's readily available. Tracking and managing events and incidents is difficult enough, especially as systems and people scale up. Details can easily be lost or hidden on someone's desktop computer, in their email, or fragmented between many messenger apps, bug trackers, analytic tools used by DevOps teams. You need a tool that will automate the steps needed to recognize, respond to, and recover from an incident, while also recording all of the events that occurred during the incident recognition, response, and recovery. If you're an incident manager, a coordinator, or a scribe, this frees up time and lets you focus on the valuable parts of the postmortem. And that's exactly what Sean is going to show you today. Okay, Sean, over to you.
Thanks, Mandeep. The first step towards creating effective post-incident reviews is the integration of your existing monitoring tools, ITSM, and chat tools. For example, monitoring tools may already feed into your incident platform, but if it takes time to create a ticket, you might not know exactly when the issue started to impact your users. Similarly, as your incident response scales up, there will be an ever-growing audit trail of who was contacted and when they engaged, or didn't in some cases. We've shown you in other Demo Dayz webinars how more teams have moved into chat tools like Microsoft Teams and Slack to collaborate on just about every aspect of an incident, so it makes sense. All right. So here we have the xMatters Flow Designer, our codeless integration hub for automating actions across your key incident response tools. The Demo Dayz session for Flow Designer is on our YouTube channel if you'd like to learn more. What you see here is a snapshot of some of the processes that xMatters is automating for me. For example, anytime a user responds to an xMatters notification, that response gets posted into an xMatters incident and the dedicated Slack channel where the incident collaboration is happening. That's one huge piece of the audit trail data handled for you automatically. We've also got a webhook from Slack where user comments update not only the xMatters incident console, but incident tickets too. And that looks like this. Here we have an incident that's in progress and in fact is close to being resolved. We can see the incident is currently set to mitigated, meaning services are more likely restored and available to users, but teams are still engaged, perhaps monitoring stability or checking if transactions are now processing as expected. If we focus on the incident timeline and filter by notes, we see an entry from the collaboration Slack channel that suggests things look good and the incident can be resolved. So let's go ahead and do just that. And I know impact actually started a couple minutes before the incident was created. So let's adjust the impact start time and add a note saying Sue says all looks good. Now, there's usually a bit of a break between when services are restored and when the postmortem is carried out. This could be because it's 2 in the morning when the incident is resolved and everybody just wants to go back to bed, understandably so. But often it's because there's so much information to gather that hours or even days are needed. As you can see, when you resolve an incident, xMatters helps you get ready for your post-incident review with key metrics from time to detect to time to resolve and everything in between. You'll also notice a new blue button in the top right corner of the screen, which takes you to the next stage of your incident's journey, creating a post-incident report. So where do you begin? The person leading your post-incident review may have been the incident commander or a resolver, or they may not have actually been involved in the incident. In fact, it can be good practice to have someone independent lead the review. Resolvers that engaged in the incident automatically added as contributors for convenience and can be edited as needed. Let's add Mandeep. Thanks for contributing, Mandeep. Filtering the timeline is a good place to start for gathering info, as it lets you see information in manageable sections. For example, filtering by resolvers lets you quickly identify who else was notified in case you need to ask them questions or invite them to the post-incident review meeting. Once you start filtering information by what's most important to you, you can begin to piece together the data that xMatters and your resolvers gathered during the incident. You'll use this data to prep the post-incident report for the review meeting. Over on the left-hand side of the screen, you have editable analysis boxes. These form the bulk of the post-incident report. Typically, knowing the root cause of the incident and how users or customers were impacted are core elements of understanding how to prevent a similar incident from happening again. You can filter your incident timeline to notes to see if there are any notes which speak to the analysis sections. Sure enough, this incident has some. So let's copy this note from Sue into our impact. And let's copy this note from Bob into our root cause. Notice how these boxes change when I click on them. You can format the text, add lists, tables, links, and even expand to full screen mode to make it easier for everyone to see during the review meeting. So that gets impact and root cause started. What about these other two? It may be that you need to dig a little deeper beyond the notes. If we switch the timeline to updates, we can see the incident was set to mitigated around this time. That's helpful because now we can go and take a look at the Slack channel the resolvers were using to collaborate during the incident. Incidentally, though we don't have it set up for this incident, the transcript from the Slack channel could have been automatically posted into our incident timeline. It's worth checking out our codeless automation demo day session if you haven't already. But a quick change of the filter, and you can click straight through to the Slack channel. So now we're in the Slack channel for the incident, knowing when the incident was set to mitigated. I can quickly find that time in the conversation and see the message exchange up to that point. Sure enough, we've got an indication here of what was done to restore services. Dan deployed a new fix. Thanks, Dan. Let's copy that info. And paste it in our post incident. Now, what about lessons learned? It's best practice to capture what went well during the incident, in addition to what could have gone better or prevented the incident from occurring in the first place. Starting with the positives can really help keep the mood in the meeting blameless and constructive. Lessons learned are key takeaways from this process, as they help us to identify how can we prevent an incident like this from happening again. From the Slack conversation, it looks like a unit test script wasn't updated for the new build we released just before the incident. So let's add that. Unit test script needed updating. Oh, gotta learn how to spell. For new feature. Perfect. This also guides us to the next part of our post-incident report, actions. Here we can log key follow-up information. For example, let's create a quick action to update unit test scripts. And let's assign that to Mandeep. Thanks again, Mandeep. And due tomorrow. Great. Of course, you may have a tool to log and track these actions already. So this URL box gives you a place where you can put that in right here and easily cross-reference tickets within other systems. Let's save that. And here in the Actions tab, you can track and manage actions through to completions. Now, before we finish, let's come back to the timeline. It has a lot of information about the incident. And while it's great information, you might not need all of it in your post-incident report. Luckily, we can edit the timeline content. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have all available timeline entries. On the right-hand side, the selected entries to include in the final report. You can remove and also add new entries to provide additional context. When you're ready, gather contributors such as incident commander, scribe, resolvers, incident or problem managers, or any technical or business stakeholders as appropriate for the review meeting to further flesh out the analysis and finalize the actions. As your post-incident report progresses, you can update its status accordingly. We had our meeting, it's all reviewed, did all the actions. Well, not actually, this is pretty handy actually. It tells you if you haven't completed all your actions yet, but let's just close this anyways. Pretend it's done. Once you have completed your post-incident report, great. It's now time to share it with your stakeholders since they're interested in the outcome of the incident. Up in the top of the report, there's an export function to produce a Word or PDF file ready to share accordingly. So that's a quick overview of how xMatters can help you with post-incident reviews. Let's pass back to Mandeep for a recap.
Thanks, Sean. That was a great demo of the post-incident report and the UI there. Awesome work.
Thanks for all your help with the incident, Mandeep.
You're welcome. Well, we all know incident management has been around for several years, and most incident platforms have tools to help with post-incident reviews. But with the trend of development teams becoming more operationally responsible, there's a growing need to simplify the entire incident process, from detection to learning. To summarize, when you take advantage of xMatters incident management capabilities, you'll see three big improvements: the ability to easily conduct blameless postmortems after an incident, the automatic collation of key collaboration data, and generation of comprehensive incident timelines, and identification and summary of key lessons and actions for learning and improvement. By applying these three elements of incident management, teams can reduce friction in the continuous software development cycle, enable better customer experiences at a lower cost, and set a solid foundation for digital service resilience, which lets teams spend more time getting amazing products to market and less time stuck resolving issues. xMatters has helped thousands of teams gain efficiencies across development and infrastructure departments around the world. We've reduced wasted time from unplanned and annoying disruptions, while giving innovators precious time back to create and thrive in today's digital service world. Of course, don't take our word for it. Our customers love sharing the experiences of xMatters, and you can read about them all on G2 Crowd. Okay, we got a question here. We already use our ITSM tools problem management. Can xMatters feed into that? Sean?
Absolutely. So you can sync data across and make sure that incidents are tracked in both places. Absolutely.
Got another one here for you, Sean. Can the post-incident report be automatically sent to recipients?
Not quite yet. You still have to manually send it at the moment, but you can, of course, export it and then attach it to a notification and send that out as well.
Awesome. I think that's it for questions. So thank you very much for those. You can sign up for your very own trial of xMatters or get it free forever. Head over to xmatters.com/signup and get your instance today. If you found this webinar interesting, and we have many more webinars scheduled every month, go to xmatters.com/demo-dayz for more information. And don't forget to track us down online. Follow on your channel of choice. We're on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, where we share even more information and we'd love to connect with you. Well, thank you, Sean, for guiding us through the demonstration of the post-incident review with xMatters. And to our guests, thank you for joining us. This concludes today's Demo Dayz event. Have a wonderful day.
Cheers all.